whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. We are Super Friday, gentlemen. How's it going?
It is going well for me.
Hey, I'm super excited. Obviously, I'm last day of. Am I lagging or is it you guys? I guess
it is definitely you.
But, it's last day of Radio Row. Of course it is. But it's the last day of Radio Row, and it's exciting.
How's the overall experience been for you in terms of guests and things like that you got to interview or talk with?
Yesterday was packed with people. So there was a lot of Eagles here. Jordan Mailata, the Amazing Whites, both Reed and Cooper were here doing their thing. I saw Nakobe Dean, AJ Dillon, got to speak with DeAndre Swift. Also, Brian Baldinger. I got to spend got a great video of him talking about Stoutland and how big of a loss that's going to be for the Eagles and how they screwed it up. He was actually a little adamant about it. He was like very animated about how the Eagles screwed this one up and that it wasn't a good idea to lose him.
Yeah. But that's good for the Cowboys because we're screwing it up. So if you're screwing it up, that still gives a fighting chance.
All of a sudden, the Giants are going to be good. What happened?
First, are they going to be the next New England Patriots? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know
maybe
either.
Not with Matt Nagy. Maybe not with Matt Nagy calling the plays.
Oh, wow. So Matt Nagy got the offensive coordinator's job over there?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Wow, but that's interesting. It's been a lot of fun. I've been asking questions on the fly, just kind of getting them so these players get bombarded. And when they get somebody with a microphone in front of them, they ask question after question after question. And I don't want to be that guy. So I just ask a couple of quick questions. I usually am, my go-to questions are to these players: who was their favorite athlete growing up? And then who is their most influential coach in their lives? And all the players love talking about those things because, one, it brings back their childhood a little bit. Two, it's everybody that I've asked, every athlete that I have asked has brought up their high school coach. So it's like it's a yell back to, hey, high school, this is what's this was the guy who was the most influential, got me, really put me in the right mindset to get me to the pros. Because in college, you're just a number, especially in those big programs. The smaller programs is a little different, but the bigger programs is, you're just a number. And if you don't get it right, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you won't get into the pro. So you have to have that work ethic ahead of time.
Oh, yeah, you do. I mean, that's where it starts, is high school, but really it kind of starts in the home, and then it translates to the high school. And then, I mean, that's your foundation. Everything else is just adding on to that, right?
But you know what? Listen, it's as much as I'd love to say that fathers, the parents are the ones that groom the child, and you have to have a certain mindset already to be able to listen to coaches the right way. So there is something to be said for that. However, coaches, like your coach in middle school and high school, is the first alternative father figure that you start to really listen to. Mm-hmm. And that's what it kind of takes, because it takes somebody who is not a relative to start pushing that mentality into your head. Because if you don't have that, you have a hard time. Unless you're very self-motivated, you're not going to do some of the things that it's going to take to get you into the pros. And you have to work really hard. These guys work so tremendously hard to get to where they are. And then they're a professional, and you think it's easy after that. It's not. Now you just get paid to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, getting drafted is step one.
Right.
Then the work begins.
Oh, for sure it does. I just feel like your parents, for those of, and I know not everybody's lucky enough to have two parents like I did, but I feel like if you have parents that are able to be in your life and not have to be working if you're a single parent or whatever, and that's kind of where I feel like being a coachable person starts at that level. Like if you teach your kids to be coachable, and then like you said, the middle school all the way up through high school, they always preach, hey, be coachable, because I really think that's the ones that make the greatest athletes is the ones that can be coachable.
Correct. And like it says, it takes a certain mentality level in general to hear, listen to somebody who has no jurisdiction of your life. Like that's because that's what a coach does. It's like, this isn't a parent. This isn't somebody who is going to care. I mean, within reason, they're going to care about you if you don't pay attention to them. Like as I said, if you don't accept them as your coach and as the person who is going to give you the best way to be able to start to move forward in your life, that it almost becomes a demon, and you start to fight that. It's like you rebel against that. Well, that doesn't work well for the coach or you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So
wake up, Dust.
I'm sick. Hey, I'm sick today, right? Leave me alone.
Sick. You're sick?
I
No
have a-
sickness. That's weakness. That's just weakness leaving the
I had
body.
a daughter that decided to puke.
It's weakness all around the body is really what it is.
My daughter decided to throw up all over the kitchen floor twice this morning. Yeah, it's been great.
Oh, damn. That's
it's one of those.
Yeah, so she's upstairs sleeping right now.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
I used to have
I mean,
when
it's all
I was
that
in-
warm weather that's come through.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's 41 today, so I mean, hey.
Heat
I'll tell
wave.
you, hey, I used to have a platoon sergeant when we would do our like 10-mile runs, 5-mile runs, whatever, or push like heavy push-ups in a 10-mile run. We'd be like, he's like, listen, I know you're feeling pain right now, but that's just weakness leaving the body. I said, well, if that's the case, then we're gonna be here for a hot minute. I remember those days like it was yesterday. And I wonder if and I gotta imagine there's football coaches when they're teaching their players, and maybe they see their players, not putting a full effort in because maybe they're kind of succumbing to the rigors of, like you said, Pags, going through training camps and all the things that requires. There's got to be coaches out there that say, "Hey, come on now, this is the job." I got to imagine there's those coaches out there that kind of grab them kids up and say, "Let's go,"
So the players I haven't asked, and I feel like that's not an appropriate question. Like I think that.
Oh no, yeah, you wouldn't ask them.
There are so many college kids here, and they are the ones that don't always ask the greatest of questions. And because of that, it's like I am very measured with how I interact with somebody.
Mhm.
It's like I said, I'm the only one in this entire building that's going to have his head painted. And that puts me at both an advantage and a disadvantage. And the advantage is that everybody knows who I am. You know what I mean? They've all seen me. They all know that's that Eagles guy. You know what I mean? So it's like, we saw you walking in. We know what's going on. You are you. The disadvantage is that if you don't get it, you don't get it, and you don't want to talk. So I'm very measured with how I respect the time and the energy of each player. For instance, I went up to his last name is Prince. I think he was a Chief. I don't know. Anyways, they said I think he was a receiver for the Chiefs or a defensive back for the Chiefs. And I asked him those questions, the same questions, like, hey, who was your favorite player growing up, and then who was your most influential coach? And he spoke to me for 5 minutes about the influential coach and just how much he meant to him and stuff like that. And it's like asking a question like that gets them to see past the paint, because I'm not saying, hey, who do you want to win this game this week? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, Nobody, because my team's not in it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I tell them. Hey, I tell them I'm pulling for the Seattle fan base because that's what means the most to me. Like I have some friends that are Patriots fans, but
Sure.
not as many as Seattle fans. So I am rooting for them. I'm not rooting for the Seahawks. I'm not rooting for the Patriots. I have no skin in this game, and it doesn't matter to me. But that's that. So I feel like their answer is very similar to mine. They could care less. They have a friend who is rooting one way or another, and depending on how close that friend is I'm rooting for that friend to be very happy. That's what I want.
Was his last name Prince?
Yes.
So there was two players that had last name Prince. One was Deneric Prince. He was a running back. And the other one was Garrett Prince, and he was a tight end. Both of those for the Chiefs.
This guy was the running back. I got him.
Then that was Deneric Prince. He was 2023.
Yeah.
That's when he joined them.
Yeah. And like you said, he was just walking around doing his thing, and I happened to catch him for a second. And like I said, he gave me 5 minutes of time. And I'm appreciative of that because I don't want to take too much of their time. But if they want to continue to talk, I'm going to continue to listen, and have their microphone on, because that's what this is about. You know what I mean? This is about trying to get a little bit deeper. I want a deeper dive on these guys. I don't want it to just be, hey, good season or tough season, stuff like that. Like I started that with DeAndre. I said, hey, listen, would love to have seen you here playing in this game. I would have loved to seen us here playing in this game.
Right.
Neither happened.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
But I do think when you're respectful of their time and you are asking appropriate questions and things, that's going to get you those repeat. Number one, it gets you repeat interviews, but then also other players see that, and then it's going to make it easier for you to even go talk to those guys. So it's all about networking, but like I said, time management and right questions. I mean, that's a perfect combination.
The right questions is huge.
Absolutely.
If your first question they think is annoying, they're like, "Yeah, I'm out."
And the funny thing is that I very, very rarely get to fanboy.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not a fanboy guy. Seeing Gary V yesterday, and I got the 2 seconds to talk to him. All I did was just about slob his knob. You know what I mean? Like literally, like, man, I am so far. Like I am this guy because of you and listening to you. I still listen to you daily. I actually push this motivation because of that. And he's like, I'm so proud of you and stuff like that. He doesn't know what to say because he gets the exact same way I do when somebody's giving him all these accolades and stuff. I'm like, thanks.
Right.
Because you don't know what to say.
Yeah, I get
Did it work?
When the so Peter walked by pre-show. He walked through the frame. You seen Herb Street there?
What does he look like?
Blonde hair, about 6'2", medium build.
Let's see if I see him around
That is
right
exactly right, Rob. Don't ask if the Super Bowl is a must-win game.
Yeah, that's the best question.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
D-Law to get a ring? Absolutely. That makes sense if you're a Dallas fan, especially because he called his own shot, right? Like, I love Dallas. I live here as my family, all that, but I'm not going to win a ring here. For him to be in the Super Bowl that same year, pretty crazy.
I think I might ask, if it was a running back, I might ask a question like, what defense did he find it the hardest to run against? Or, something like that, Or what was the most challenging defense you had to run against? Stuff like that. I mean, stuff that had to do with this position would be good questions.
You know what? They answer football questions all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. You're right.
I would rather be more remembered for the question that I ask. It's like, it's like somebody coming up and asking, how's your mom? You know what I mean? Like, hey, how's your mom doing? You're going to spend a minute saying, hey, my mom's great. Just spoke to her the other day. That person may or may not know your mother at all. You know what I mean? But if that's something that resonates, you always are going to talk about your mom because it's your mom.
Right.
You know
I think that would be the
So-
icebreaker. I think that would be the introduction comment, and then you might go into some football. I feel like you got to do at least a little bit of football questions, as long as they're relevant questions. But I think that, what you're talking about, that's how you would introduce yourself to them or let them, the icebreaker type thing. I can see that.
Again, because we're in such a setting where these guys are running from place to place, and they got interview here and an interview here, and then they're just kind of walking like aimlessly, just going from place to place. Sometimes they have handlers, sometimes they don't. I mean, Jordan Mailata was needed 3 handlers to bring him around everywhere.
Oh,
And once he did his set, he was gone. Like he's like, I ain't sticking around. I don't want anybody to just kind of grab me to get into an interview and stuff like that. I'm not interested. And he's a little bit more on the shy tip, anyways.
really?
They announced yesterday. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Rams were playing in Australia.
Yep.
They will be playing against the 49ers.
Oh, nice.
So they did announce that yesterday.
Nice.
So it's not the Eagles, which is a little bit of a bummer, but was also somewhat expected. I was talking to a couple of the Australian guys, and they said, yeah, it finally was announced. I was like, okay, that makes more sense to me. Just because I know that the Eagles, when they play in Australia, they want to be announced because they are going to announce Jordan Mailata, and that stadium is going to absolutely erupt once that happens. So, and there's no way that they're going to do that if the Rams have a home game. The Rams don't want to announce Jordan Mailata and have that erupt for them. So it's,
Right.
that's why they're going up against the 49ers. Make the 49ers have to travel all the way across the country or across the world to
Right.
So
I'm assuming when they do that, like when they go across the world, like Australia, England, whatever, I'm assuming they get there probably about a week early, so that way they can acclimate and get settled in for the game.
So I'll tell you, when the Eagles went to Brazil, they flew down there on Friday and then left right after the game. They did not want to spend time down there, and they did not want to do that. Now, I feel that if you are flying from the West Coast, I mean, you might be able to answer this better than I can, Bo. I don't know how far of a flight it is from LA to Australia, or
I think it's
San Francisco to Australia.
I think it's 16 hours.
Yeah,
It's
Well, I know it's from LA to Japan is about 18 hours.
yeah.
So it's got to be around the 16 to 18.
So, I mean, you need an airplane. I mean, these guys are big. They're going to get stiff. It's
Right.
like part of what's going on. So it's like you have to have like that whole plane has got to be like a first class plane where you have like a small mini apartment because you're spending that much time.
Right.
For people like us, like if we're flying over there, they don't care. You know what I mean? Like it's like I know when I looked at the price, it was like $30,000 for a round trip first class ticket, which is a mini apartment, for on a flight. Business class, where just the seat is a little cocked, so you have that extra leg room, and it folds back into a bed, so you can actually go to sleep for a few minutes, and that's it.
Right.
Is $8,000. Well, guess what? I'm spending the $8,000. I am
Yeah.
not sitting in a normal seat for 22 hours.
Pegs, when you went to go watch the Phillies down in Rio, or Eagles down in Rio, Brazil, what city was the game in?
So Sao Paulo was where the game
Okay.
was. We went to Rio initially to hang out for the week. Sao Paulo is not the greatest spot to be in. Like Sao Paulo is like New York, so it doesn't have the beaches, it doesn't have all that stuff. It's a whole different setup. So you go to Rio, hang out there, dive off of the cliffs, go see Christ the Redeemer, all that fun stuff,
Yeah.
and then you go to Sao Paulo for the game. And it's
Right.
and that was what we did. And, Sao Paulo's like we had when I went to go see the Eagles Brazil, because there's a huge Eagles contingent down there. It was like I was Brad Pitt walking in there. It was amazing that they all knew me and such like that. And ever since then, anytime somebody from Brazil comes, sees me, they come over and they do an interview because I'm still like very well loved down there. They get it and they enjoy it, and I appreciate it. So I feel like I need to do I almost could probably send them a message once a month, and that would start to go viral. Because a lot of people from Brazil remember me from when we were there because I spoke so well of them.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But and that's the thing. It's like I am not a player. These players are larger than life to all of, like, anybody in Australia. Like, anybody who's going to be playing in that game is going to be looked at as a walking god almost.
Oh yeah.
That's how they are. That's how these games are even looked at when they are in Europe. They have the Champions Cup here for soccer.
Yeah.
Like the actual Champions Cup is here. I actually had a little interview with La Liga, which is all Hispanic names and stuff like that, and from Spain and Portugal and such like that, which was kind of cool. The fact that these guys know who I am and use my content, use me for content, is great. And it puts me kind of on the third place pedestal. Not the first place pedestal, not even the second place pedestal, but like the third place pedestal. So, which is kind of good. I'm a sea level guy here. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Celebrity, sea level celebrity.
Nice.
But yeah, that's part of the fun of doing this. And next year, obviously, the Super Bowl is in LA. I have started working already on getting my media credentials for next year. What I've been doing is a day pass for 3 days. Next year, I'm going to have the full week pass, and we're going to Monday and Tuesday. It's really kind of dead here, but there are a couple of different things. That's when you can get to, like, the Pat McAfee show. That's when you can get on some of these other shows that are going on. Mm-hmm. It would also be a way for me to be here one day. Like, Monday you show up in paint, but Tuesday I don't have to wear the paint. You know what I mean? So they could actually see me as a normal human being. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, go back to the paint.
Yeah. Maybe you come in half paint, half normal.
No.
It's either all paint or it's no paint.
Yep.
Yeah, you go big or go home. You can't be weird.
It's almost like a mullet, business in the front, party in the back.
There's lots of that going on here. You know what I've also noticed? That a lot of the 20-somethings have all the same haircut.
Yeah.
There is something going on with just having a lot more hair here and around the ears, like heavy around the ears.
Yeah, there's a name for that. The Edgar, or I think it's called Edgar. There's a name for that type of haircut. My wife tells me about it all the time because the kids at school had that same haircut. I think it's called Edgar. I think it's called the Edgar cut. Something weird like that.
You know more than me.
Yeah, I only know that because my wife tells me. I mean, they learn all that stuff at school. These kids got some crazy stuff going. She's the one that told me how to do, because the kids do the what is that that you were doing the other day, Pags, that dance here, the gritty. She tells all the kids walk down to school doing their gritty. It's like what's cap, no cap? I mean, all these different terminologies. That's always I stay kind of somewhat in the know, but not all.
Stop capping, Jay.
What's that? Oh yeah, look. If he had some rigs, he might understand my cap.
Oh man,
I'm sorry. I apologize. I went there. I apologize.
But anyway,
so where we live in now, Bo?
There is a game happening on Sunday.
There sure is.
There is.
Yeah, it's funny though, because there's been a lot of talk about the rumor of Seattle selling the team, and that there was a fine to even force the thing, and that ended up getting enough steam behind it that Goodell addressed it directly. So this is that soundbite.
Well, the last point is not true on the fine. The second point, I would say, as far as your first point, I think when Paul Allen passed away, it was made very clear that as a matter of the trust, that the team would eventually be sold. Jody's doing a great job of managing the team. Bird's here. They've done a great job. They're in the Super Bowl. And I think from that standpoint, they've done a really important job in the context of the trust and the execution of that. But eventually the team will need to be sold in accordance with that. That'll be Jody's decision when she does that. And we will be supportive of it.
So the fine I thought was silly. I'm not even sure where that originated from. But as far as the team being sold, we've been talking about this for the last couple of years, that when they got the new coach and all of that would be really kind of the timing, right? You extend your GM or you get a new GM, you get your coach of the future. That way, whoever's buying the team gets to buy something that's like ready to rock, not you have to, fill all the pieces in. And so timing wise, it would make sense because now here you are in the Super Bowl. That's about as valuable as you're going to be. Right. So the estimated sale for this thing is 7 to 8 billion. And it wouldn't shock me if they start kicking the tires on stuff now with a long-term deal for Schneider, a 5-year deal for McDonald. You're in the Super Bowl. Like if there was a time to sell this is.
Oh yeah. So you're on top. Right.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and it's not like you didn't know this was coming. Like this was verbiage that was in that, after he passed away immediately. I mean, there's been speculation of when this thing would sell for years now. So, but if you were going to do it over the next couple of years would be the time.
So the reason they're having to sell is because her husband said that, hey, when I die, this team will be sold? Or is that the NFL saying that they had?
No. So it was Paula. It's her brother.
Okay.
But in his will, basically the sports teams would get sold off. He was the sports guy. The trust isn't. Jody isn't. So right now the Trailblazers are in the process of being sold. So that deal is actually getting done, and Seattle will be the next one to get sold. But all of these were known quantities as soon as he passed away.
Wow.
And all we need to do is come up with about $12 billion and we can buy them.
Yeah. I figure if we dig around in the couch, we'll only be about 12 billion short.
Exactly.
I thought I was going to have
11,999,000,000 and change.
Yeah.
So
Could you like to go to the bank? I'd like to take out $1 billion loan, please.
$12 billion.
yeah, exactly.
No, I was trying to get $1 billion to get a minority stake or something.
And then here's the big problem. Once you give up that $12 billion, then you still need a few billion to run the team.
Exactly.
Sure. That's just to get your foot in the door.
So you better have 20 billion.
Did you make it to any of the press conferences?
No, I have not. So the press conferences have been happening in different spots. Some have been happening in Santa Clara. Some have been happening on the stage in the Experience. Last night was happening at the honors ceremony. That was such a tightly held situation. There were no tickets available at all for that. Like you couldn't even get close unless you had a ticket. Like there was very specific security and everything because one, you have Seahawks there, you have Patriots there. They were all there for the ceremonies and stuff, along with all the other players like the MVP players and stuff like that. It's funny. Some of the residents of San Francisco, there's police officers walking around with machine guns. Right now, San Francisco is probably one of the safest places in the world to be because ain't nothing going to happen at all.
Yeah, that's national security right there. Anytime you have an event like that, especially what's going on with the climate now, they're going to have all that security out there for sure.
100%. Good to see you. As Cowboys fans showing their respect, kissing the ring as they were.
Kissing the ring, huh? I might fart on that ring, but I ain't gonna kiss it. But I got severe hatred for the Eagles. Pags, no offense, I love you, but I hate the Eagles.
Yes. So my buddy Ed Callahan won the Ultimate Fan of the Year. Oh, that nice catch. Nice catch. Oh, and he got the spin. Look at that. Hands of gold. Kyle Brandt right there.
Nice.
This is part of the fun stuff that gets to happen here. You get to see little bits and pieces of that.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And I tell you, I mean, not for nothing, I wasn't supposed to have a table. I just commandeered this one, and they let me keep it.
I mean, that's good. That means what people are already pulling out then.
So, if you look on it, this was ESPN Mexico's table. Yes, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I guess they did pull out. So Thursday and Friday was PSG's table.
Nice. Nice.
Which is awesome. You know, I'm glad that they allowed me to keep it, and I let people like kind of come in if they had an interview to do, they can come in and use the table and such.
Oh,
like
sure.
I share because I care.
You share that way you can keep that table.
Well, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
No, but that's good. Obviously, that's professional courtesy on your end, so that's good.
Well, and that's what it is. You do them a favor, and then it's also a way for them to remember me. It's like that's part of what's going on here.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the guy last year. He let us use his table. Hey, he can use this table again this year. What the hell?
Yeah, and I remember him because he had the green mohawk.
Right.
Yes.
So I know I'm probably the only one on the panel that is even focusing on baseball at this point.
That is awesome. Hold on, Dustin. You cannot throw strays and then go into your point.
Because it's Brad. It's
No,
Brad. I'm
son of a
going to
bitch
address
out here that
Brad.
does baseball.
I want to address Brad's comment right there.
No, okay.
Oh, the one I have ignored a couple of times.
Yeah. Tarek Skubal did not avoid arbitration. He won arbitration. He actually got $32 million when the Tigers only wanted to give him 19. If anyone was going to win an arbitration case, you knew it was going to be Tarek Skubal.
Yes, agreed.
I feel like that question was asked yesterday, or that comment was there yesterday in the yesterday's show.
I was surprised since we're talking about weirdo stuff during Super Bowl week. I was surprised Giannis was not traded.
Or Morant.
That was
Or Morant.
well. Moran was not a surprise.
No.
Giannis was a little bit of a surprise. I know that the Sixers tried to do.
There's a lot of
different
drama
things.
around Giannis right now, too.
How many more years does Giannis have on that Milwaukee
So
contract?
here's the thing. Giannis keeps saying that he wants to be in Milwaukee. He wants to retire a Buck, this, and this. The Bucks have a 4-year, $274 million contract extension that he hasn't signed yet. So if you want to be in Milwaukee, why haven't you signed that extension yet?
Unless he feels like he can get more.
No, the Bucks can offer him more than anybody else can. That's kind of that NBA thing where the team can give you that max extension or whatever.
No baseball really until next week.
But couldn't they get beyond that with sign-in bonuses, though? Even the max extension is probably 274, but could they increase it if they do a signing bonus or something like that? You can't manipulate that.
Not with a supermax. No, that's the supermax is like the highest amount of dollars you can get, and the Bucks can give him more than anybody. That's why everyone's like, well, if you want to be Milwaukee, why haven't you signed that contract yet?
I mean, that makes sense.
And aren't they able to do 5? You'd be able to do 5 years, right?
Yeah, they can do 5, which then you're looking at probably 5 at $350.
Yeah, it's.
But even then, though,
Way
if he says he wants to retire in Milwaukee, why hasn't he signed this extension that's on the table? Then you're getting basically $68 million a year. If you sign this extension, why haven't you done it?
Right.
Yeah. Because
I guess we have to wait a little longer to find out where Giannis is going to wind up.
He's going to do the same crap he's pulled the last 2 years. He's going to keep saying he wants to stay in Milwaukee to force the Bucks' hand to do something in free agency and in the offseason. If they don't do anything, then he's going to pull the "I don't want to be here" crap anymore, and he's going to force the Bucks' hand again.
Yeah, how far away are you, Joe, from them? I got to imagine some of it has got to be fairly close to you.
Yeah, because it's in Italy, correct?
Yes, in Italy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
Yeah, and so basically, there's a unanimous of "Shut up, Dustin."
Damn, Dustin. You see what happens, Dustin? That's why you don't talk to Brad's comments. You just be quiet and sit there, look pretty.
Right? Like, there's a reason I was ignoring it.
I mean, I thought it was pretty blatantly obvious.
This is
but,
like
you know.
Super Bowl Friday. You know what isn't happening right now?
This is like, hey, anybody want to talk some cricket? Can we talk some cricket?
Baseball is happening. You just need to know where to find it.
Yeah, it's because we don't care to find it.
I watched 6 hours of baseball yesterday.
2 hours on a plane, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all, man. Shit, I'd hop on that thing.
The awards did happen last night. And Pags, did you make it over there at all, or
you were not able to get anywhere close
okay?
at all. Like if you didn't have a ticket, they had things set up so that you couldn't even walk near there. Like it was like there was like 3 levels of barricade. So if you were part of, because I actually also applied to be at the red carpet. So like got all dressed up and do that just to kind of be, it's not like a paid staff, but it's like a selected group that's on the red carpet with these players and such. And I was denied that as well. And they just didn't want anybody there at all who didn't have a ticket or wasn't selected as part of that.
I mean, that's fair.
I totally get that. Like I said, that the climate we live in, they have to have those security measures. I can't imagine them letting people get that close.
Well, so what I've been doing now is like, because now I know, it's like now I'm setting up for next year. Like next year, I look to be more a part of things. I will be. I am going to be playing. They have a celebrity flag football game tomorrow happening. That's disabled veterans versus celebrities. And I am going to be on the celebrity team next year, or at least I'm working out to be able to be on the celebrity team next year. These are, I will be at the honors next year because I have a year to work on this already. So I now know the procedures that have to be followed to be able to get that, because you can't buy a ticket to that. And
I mean, your first time through anything is always just trying to get the lay of the land.
Oh, correct. So that's what made me better at this, because last year I got the lay of the land of being, okay, I'm here. I know what to do. I know how to look for the table. I know where I'm supposed to be at, so on and so forth. This time around, it's like, okay, so I got, a little bit further along. Next year will be even better. Right. Like I'm going to be part of the media next year, so I'm going to be here, and we're going to have a full week to be able to do this, and hopefully the Eagles will be here.
Well, hopefully not, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. Hopefully not. And so the MVP, I was surprised that it was as close as it was.
Yeah, that was close.
So I thought it was going to be, obviously it was between those two, and I thought that it was going to be kind of close. I didn't think it was going to be quite this close.
Can there even be a situation where you have co-MVPs anymore?
No.
Okay. Because I said something the other day that I wouldn't be surprised if there was a co-MVP this year, if they could have it.
Yeah, I think they've kind of eliminated that. People don't really like when that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think back through anytime somebody's had like a college team or anything like that where they shared a title or anything, they may have won a bunch of other titles. If you ask them, they'll be like, oh, yeah, there was this dumb year where we shared a title, right? So, I mean, it's not something that's looked on super favorably. So the odds of them allowing a co-MVP is pretty low.
I mean, even at this vote,
because I don't think there's a rule specifically against it.
Yeah.
But
even at this vote, though, that's pretty much as close to a co-MVP as you can have.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they had a co-MVP, it would almost nullify the importance of the MVP because you're sharing it with somebody else. So it's almost like a wash.
Yeah, it's exactly no sharing. Like that's
Marvin Sanders was the last one, wasn't it?
Sharing awards, baseball, like
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we
Favre and
doing?
Sanders were the last one, wasn't it?
Uh,
Well, I think if it's a tie, the commissioner gets the final say.
Well, wasn't it Favre and Sanders that were the last two that shared it? Like in 96 or 97, whenever that was?
I didn't remember them sharing an MVP.
I thought there was a year that
Yeah,
Favre
maybe
and
it
Sanders shared it.
Yeah,
Well, and you know what? They never had, it's really up until recently they didn't even have an MVP. They started to do that more recently than anything else. It used to be the Maxwell Award. Whoever won the Maxwell Award
Yeah,
was the
McNair and
MVP.
Peyton shared it.
Yeah, Peyton Manning and McNair shared it in 2003. That was
Yeah,
the
I
last.
remember that.
and Rob McDonald was never going to win Coach of the Year here because Vrabel was the shoe-in pick. Then it probably would have been like Ben Johnson. Kyle Shanahan would have had his name in there because he was winning all these games with nobody on the roster. McDonald would be in the conversation, but he wasn't really in striking distance to really win.
You're not. He's not going to win it when you got a guy who's a first-year coach there, and you're already in the Super Bowl from last place to Super Bowl. That's not going. That is just too big of a jump for when Vrabel did it for McDonald to even have a chance at that. And McDonald's a great coach, but that wasn't going to happen.
And Ben Johnson obviously turns the Bears around, so he would have been
That
in
was
that
a huge
conversation. Kyle Shanahan with the whole roster getting hurt. I mean, like there were quite a few coaches here that legitimately had a shot at winning this thing. McDonald would have been in the conversation, but he wouldn't have been a front runner for it.
There's only been 2 times where there's been a co-MVP in the NFL: Manning and McNair, and then Favre and Sanders. Favre and Sanders shared it in '97 because that was the year that Barry Sanders had like 2,050 some yards rushing, and Favre had like a 42 touchdown to 9 interception ratio that year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't mad at the pick there. You end up with JSN, Offensive Player of the Year. So, which, kind of makes sense. Led the league in receptions and yards and all that.
I really kind of thought the way Jonathan Taylor started for the Colts, I thought he would get Offensive
would have
Player
had
of the Year, but he just kind of died
He
down.
would have had it locked up if Daniel Jones didn't get hurt. Like Jonathan Taylor would have had that award locked up if Jones didn't get hurt.
Right.
Probably the easiest one
Myles
was
Garrett.
Myles Garrett, right?
Oh yeah, you knew he was getting it.
Nobody else was going to have a shot at that.
Did anybody
That'd be
even
like Belichick not getting in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot if they didn't give it to him.
didn't Myles Garrett have it unanimous too?
That I don't know.
I thought someone said that he was like the second ever like unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. Which honestly, that should have been the case because you couldn't have made an argument really for anybody else to get it.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody really close.
The only
Beyond
one that was close would have probably been what's his name? I can't even think of what
Yeah,
team
this
it was.
doesn't specifically say whether or not it was a unanimous vote or not.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some cornerbacks or something like that, but it was, there was nobody else that was like full of
You
sacks.
got it unanimously.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got all 50 votes.
Yeah, I was gonna say if anyone didn't vote for him, that's just a case of somebody just not liking him because they just saw him sack their quarterback a gazillion times. So they're like, I'm just not gonna vote for him.
Yeah, I was just looking at the list on ESPN, but they didn't actually say whether or not the voting went that way.
Yeah, you're right. That's only the second time that's ever happened.
Was TJ Watt the first one?
2023 was the last one that was
Was it
unanimous.
TJ Watt?
It doesn't say who it was, but I would imagine it probably was TJ.
I think that was the year that TJ.
3.
Yeah, I think that was the year TJ Watt had like 21 sacks or 21 and a half
Bless
sacks.
you.
That year.
Yeah, when he tied Strahan.
Yeah, so yeah, that would have been the other year that was unanimous then.
That's pretty good company.
But yeah, so now that we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
Were you guys surprised with the offensive rookie of the year?
No,
That was the guy from Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
McMillan?
McMillan.
Yeah.
He had a good year.
I thought they were going to give it to Egbuka.
Who won Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Carson Schlesinger from Cleveland.
Yeah.
He had like 100.
Man, Cleveland. Hey, on the defensive side of the ball, Cleveland racked up the awards, huh?
Well, I mean, the guy had 176 tackles as a rookie.
Oh, I know. I'm saying. I mean,
All
they
over the
racked up.
place.
Yeah, no, Cleveland, I mean, their defense was solid. It was just the offense couldn't get out of their own way.
Right?
Yeah, if that offense could match the defense, they probably would have had a really good statistical year.
McCaffrey won comeback player of the year. I thought it was actually going to be Hutchison.
I thought they
Yeah.
changed the rule where you couldn't win coming off of an injury anymore.
No, you can't win by just sucking the year before, which is
Okay.
what we've seen recently, where it was Flacco and then and then it was Geno. It's like, oh, comeback player of the year because you just weren't good enough to start. It's like, well, I mean, how is that a comeback player?
Right?
But McCaffrey won it coming off an Achilles. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. But I thought it would have been Hutchison.
I'm trying to think of anybody even this year that got hurt that could be in the running for it
next year.
next year. Yeah.
Hey, Rob's asking, do you think Edmund Worry got robbed, Bo?
You know who's going to win it next year? Patrick Mahomes.
If he
You
comes
think he does?
depending on when he comes back.
Probably.
Yeah.
It says that as another thing. Just, and I know that we're talking about the awards, but I saw Brock Purdy yesterday.
Yeah.
He looks like he's about 12 years old.
Yeah, he's got a baby face. He has like no facial hair at all.
Yeah, he looks like so small and young. It's just like, wow, he looks like a little kid. Like he was on Pat McAfee, and you almost expect him to be dangling his feet on the chair.
Yes.
Well, how tall is Brock?
He's just like, hi, guys. That's hilarious.
I'm just here. How tall is he anyway? He's got to be at least 6 foot, though, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he's 6 foot tall, but he just looks like a little kid.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's funny because these guys, they're slouchers when they sit down, so they're like, you know what I mean? Like they're all relaxed. So it's like, it's gotta sit upright. They're on TV.
They're prima donnas. They can do what they want. Yeah, slouch, whatever. Look, I'm on your show. You gonna tell me how to sit? Let me sit.
Boneheaded move of the year.
Bonehead, yeah. Yeah, that was bonehead. I was surprised. Well, didn't they get fired because of that ultimately, right?
He got fired for that, but he got fired for a lot of stuff. But it was ultimately the two quarterbacks the Vikings tried to get last year ended up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I did happen to try to talk to Cam Newton, who has no interest in talking to certain people, like just has no interest.
For sure.
And so I just yell out my question. I'm like, who was your favorite athlete growing up? He looks up in the sky for a second and he goes, Prime. Like, well, at least I got an answer.
Right?
And walk away.
Who was that again? Who was that said that, Pax?
Cam Newton.
Oh, Cam Newton said that?
So-
Interesting. Did he have the big hat on like he normally wears?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He does his 4th and 1 podcast here.
Okay.
I had Donovan McNabb on a couple of, Donovan McNabb has been walking around here a little bit. They said that AJ Dillon was around. So, I mean, there's been some Philadelphia people here, but I think everybody's gone. Like Brandon Graham was here the other day. I got to hang with him a little bit. Coop and Reed, Jean and Reed Blankenship were all over the place yesterday. And I got to talk to the running back from Notre Dame.
Jeremiah Love.
Yes.
Nice.
So, wished him luck in the draft. Right now he is projected to go 8th.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's the only running back really that has a shot at being a top 10 pick. And even that, I'll be surprised if he actually goes. But there's no one else even close.
Don't a lot of the mock drafts have him going to Kansas City right now?
No, not to KC. To the Saints.
Saints.
To the Saints. So
they're going to need him
would
too.
make some sense for them to bring in a guy to move on from Kamara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say that makes sense because honestly, and then Kamara's getting a little older too, so that's kind of like the next. If you're going to do that whole changing of the guard, yeah.
Well, plus he's been hurt a lot, and
Sure, absolutely.
They also they like what they've seen out of Shook, so it's not like they're going to be trying to do anything to get another quarterback. They like the way he finished the season.
Right.
So yeah, if you go get this, if you go get a running back, I mean, I could see it. His touchdowns weren't that great. I think he had 18 rushing and I think he had 3 receiving, but he had decent yardage. And then when you think of that team, they did pass the ball a lot. So,
well, that's really good because then you got Olave as your wide receiver 1. Then you'll have him as your running back, and then like you said, you got Shook. I mean, that's a formulation of a good unit actually taking place. That's
yeah,
really good.
they're really starting to kind of finally turn the corner.
Yeah,
Like they're still not going to be great, but at least they're finally headed in the right direction. Whereas before they had a lot of older guys that were getting hurt. They were really like hogtied by their cap restraints because they'd overpaid.
I was about to say that's why it's going to be a slow growth. They can't do what New England did because New England had great capital and lots of picks. And that really made it easy for them. But like you said,
they couldn't before, but they can now.
Yeah, got a bit of a somber note to pass on.
Oh damn,
Man, you're just full of good news today.
what the hell, Dustin?
Hall of Fame quarterback Sonny Jurgensen has passed away at 91.
I mean, 91. Like,
dude, it's like 91. That's called natural life.
Somebody passed away at like 45.
Still a Hall of Fame quarterback. Pegs is obviously familiar with him being in Philly.
Do you remember what happened to Chris, the last guy that did all that death talk? I don't know if you were reading the room on that one, Dustin, but I'm just saying, even I picked that one up. But
no, I mean, 91, man, you had a good run for sure. Like I'm 100% not going to make it that far.
No, look, I'm just trying to make it to 70. I feel like if I made it to 70, I feel like I've done pretty good. I don't know. I feel like when you get past 70, then you start wearing diapers, and who wants to do that? Not me.
Don't act like you're not wearing diapers right now.
I'm trying to get a sponsorship right now. Shh, don't say nobody. Depends. I think I got Depends right where I want them.
All right, 91.
Man,
nice.
Mom's 91. That's pretty. Hey, that Italian food must be doing her a world of good. 91 years old. That's pretty good.
I mean,
either that or the vino. They say a glass of red wine.
My great grandma made it to $1.
Oh, your grandmother made it to $1?
My great grandma, yeah.
Oh hell yeah! She must have had them good genetics. What happened?
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't even want to make it that far, honestly. Like my body would be so broken by 100. I'd be driving my hover around with my chin.
Hey, what is that like? You use your cheek to move the thing backwards and forwards,
exactly.
Exactly. Nah, I'm good.
Then all of a sudden, your friends be doing the same stuff we do on our motorcycles, where you roll up next to somebody, turn the power off.
Hey, what was that show where it's all these guys and they got their little hover rounds and they're going down the street? I can't remember what TV show it was or movie it was, but they're going down the street. It's like an army of them, and they're all the little remote controlled wheelchairs and stuff. Oh, that was. I wish I could remember the name of that movie. I cannot remember that, but that's what I was thinking.
Never saw it, but that'd be funny. But no, like when we're out on motorcycles riding with each other, we'll roll up and hit the kill switch as we come by.
Hey, I have seen a guy in a motorized wheelchair on a 2-lane road in the middle of the lane as if he was a car. I've seen that before, Bo, and it's really interesting.
See, this is a Dustin kind of comment right here.
Oh, my elders are. Oh, Lord, West Coast.
This is the Dustin is Eeyore of the show. He's like, not that it matters anyway.
Swing loose, sweet chariot. Coming for to carry me home.
Man.
I'm just seeing a report right now that with the loss of Coach Stoutland to the Eagles,
yep,
both Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson could potentially retire.
Oh wow!
Before the season.
Hey, do you think your team might be, on a downside a little bit for right now, or are they going to be able to replenish? What's your thoughts?
So Lane Johnson has been one of the best offensive tackles in the league, and our record is significant without him starting. So it's been that's going to be a challenge replacing him. Landon Dickerson has been injured a lot more. He has been one of those guys that has he's been good, and he has been able to switch he could be center, he could be a guard, he could be a tackle. So he's got that versatility, but he's also been playing hurt a lot, and he's been injured more. And I think that just takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
And I feel that it wouldn't be a big surprise if he was to retire, but I also believe that he could be they're telling me where to go for a Barstool, so I'm going to be going to a Barstool.
Let me ask you one question real quick, Pex. I know you got to get out of here, but let me ask you one question. With the turnover that's going on right now in Philly, not that it's complete turnover, but with the pieces that are being moved, coaches, all these things, how do you think it's going to affect the ability for the tush push, since that's kind of been your staple for goal line situation or short yardage situations?
It comes down
This
to
year, the tush
Exactly.
push actually has not done very well this year for us. It's done better
Well,
for other teams
that's
than
what I'm
us.
curious. Right.
So
Seattle actually ran it really well with Barner.
yeah, I want to say that it's not as big a deal for us anymore till we start to get the people back in place that can run it. You have to be able to. He said all these games are won in the trenches. It's somebody asked me yesterday that they're like, hey, you are now the new defensive coordinator for the Patriots, and you're going into this game on Sunday. What are you telling the guys? And I'm like, you got to win it in the trenches. That's where you win this game. This game is going to be won in the trenches. You got to pressure, Darnold. And, if you get pressure into him and you are able to get him moving, he's able to make mistakes. But that's what I would tell them. I said, that's where you're going to do the most damage is on the line. That's where you're going to win that first yard or two from the ball, which, like it says, it was the weird question for somebody to ask me, say that I'm an Eagles fan, but it was like, that's just truth as far as I'm concerned. So, and that plays here too. It's like, the Eagles are going to need to get more line help.
Mhm.
And when you ask me exactly what we want to do on the draft, well, I want to make sure that we have offensive linemen. And I tell you, most of the offensive linemen don't start in their rookie year. At least that was what Stoutland used to do. Now, like I said, we're going to have a different coach that runs that. Who knows what's going to happen?
So to finish on a funny note, Gray Zabel was asked what he thinks of Kubiak getting the head coaching interviews.
Offensive coordinator has gotten quite a few looks for head coaching opportunities. If Clint does get hired, what kind of coach would that team be getting?
Yeah, Clint's just the worst coach ever. Don't hire him. No, it's cool to see that he's going to have opportunities, and he deserves every bit of success, every opportunity, every job that he gets down the line. So can't speak highly enough about Clint.
I just like that he's like, yeah, he's the worst.
That's when you know you
don't
never
want to take him away.
That's when you know you don't want him to leave your organization. It's just like, he sucks.
Yeah,
Why would you want to hire him? You're going to regret that decision.
That being said, that does get us to the top of the hour. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us this week. And of course, there's kind of an important game this weekend. So be sure to like and subscribe right here. Otherwise, everybody enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll see y'all on Monday. Take it easy, everybody.
Sweet low speed.